Hello and welcome to Things That Fall Out of My Head. Today we're doing a bit of an experiment. I've been looking at different ways of basing my nights for 40k, and I thought rather than the usual way I'd record a video where I'd record it on my digital camera and then come back in afterwards and edit in the audio, I thought let's try it with my phone set up here, see if I can record directly on the audio track. It's a test as well to see how this sounds and how it's all going to work, whether it's a viable way of doing it, but we can assess that afterwards. Let's just have a look at what we're going to be doing today. So over the past few months I've been painting up some 40k nights for the Tale of Many War Hipsters, which was organised by Josh over on the War Hipster channel. And it's my first time back in painting miniatures for about 20 years, so everything is new to me again. I'm having to relearn all of the things that I used to do automatically, and one of the things that I've been looking at a little bit differently is basing, because whereas before I always used Games Workshop's products, I'm now using Army Painter paints rather than Games Workshop, and I'm open to trying a few new things now. So please ignore this looking a bit shiny. It's just had another coat of ink, so we'll just get him out of the way to begin with. So the first night I painted was this chappie, and for his base I went with a Games Workshop technical paint. It's a Grelin Badlands, I want to say. A Grelin Earth, I do apologise, which I then painted over, dry brushed and applied these nice little grassy basing elements to. These are from Gamer's Grass. There's a lot of products available like this. I picked these ones up because I wanted to buy a few. There was a shop that had quite a lot of them in stock, and I just thought, right, let's invest. I'll get a few packs of them. It'll do all my bases, and it's different to how I used to do it. I mean, you're talking back in the day of just putting flock onto the base and painting it goblin green. But I was playing around with it, and I kind of liked how this looked. I think on here, of course, it's actually all over this guy. But on here we've got maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's probably about 10 different products on that one. And it was just about creating a little bit of variation while keeping everything looking like it should be there. There's nothing on here that stands out too much. There's not like a bright red grass somewhere randomly in the middle. But I was trying to create kind of a natural looking but striking looking base that wasn't going to take me too long to do. So when it came to doing the second of my nights, similar kind of method. Again, we've got the technical paint on the base itself, and then we've got the other Grelin paint, I can't remember which one it is, on the legs to simulate mud. Again, painted up, dry brushed. And again, on the base here, I've gone for a bit more coverage. And again, I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, probably, yeah, again, about 10. I think that's another one there, about 10 different products on the base there. And again, I like how this looks. I like the more coverage. And it just got me to thinking, is it worth me painting the base itself? Like, do I need that technical paint on there if I'm covering probably, what is it on this one, maybe 50 to 60% of the base? So I thought, right, let's get a couple more basing products in, and we can just have a little play with the next one and see whether doing a completely grass base this way is going to be viable. So the products I'm using, first of all, I have a confession to make. I have a bit of a problem when it comes to buying a new product. I basically bought all of the catalogue to have a play with, and these are just self-adhesive little fuzzy grass pieces that you can glue directly to the base. They are self-adhesive. I tend to put them on with super glue anyway, just to make sure that they're not going to go anywhere. So we're going to be looking at this guy and trying out a couple of new products. I managed to get hold of these, which are, if we can see that, are the longer grassy tufts. We've got some of the flowers, because I like the idea of giant robots walking through fields of flowers for whatever reason. We've got those in a couple of colours. We've got some yellow ones as well. And we're also going to be drawing through the dry step set, which is a few different grassy type products. But the main difference is going to be, whereas on something like this chap, we've got all these little outlying tiny pieces here and these mosses, which are very, very low. I want the overall height to be a lot higher, for want of a less elegant way of putting it. But it's going to be a similar technique of using various different grasses, different colours, and just trying to create something that looks visually interesting. And it's going to be an experiment as well to see whether it's going to look any good. You know, I've got to cover all of this plastic effectively in super glue and then in some kind of grass product. And we're going to have to do it around these legs drying. But I think what we're going to do is, if we start off with these, because these particular grassy pieces are a lot bigger than the shorter ones. So I mean, there's variations of size in there, but on the whole, these tend to be a lot bigger. So with the previous bases, what I'd done was place down the most conspicuous elements first. So in this case, these bright yellow flowers, and then built up the grass and everything around them. So I dot down however many of these I wanted. I think there's 6 on here, and then just tried to vary the colour and the height of all the different products around it, just to make it a bit more interesting. So I think we're going to adopt the same tactic of using our most conspicuous element first, which is going to be these fluffy boys. Get them on the base, but I'm not necessarily going to be just dotting them around and then building randomly. I think to ensure that we cover all of this plastic, I'm going to start from the centre and around the feet and then build outwards, because half the problem with getting all of the grass to sit like this and to look a little bit more natural and like it's all bunched together is you really have to get the products right next to each other so that, you know, they're almost intermingling. And that's going to be difficult if I've already put lots of products around here and then I'm going to have to try and come in from this way. So I want to start here or around the feet and then build outwards. So a couple of things we're going to need. Ironically, not a paintbrush. We're going to need scalpel just in case we need to cut any of these things down. I need some tweezers so they're going to be easier to place. Got me glue. And of course we're going to need our fluffy products. So I'm trying to avoid those legs as much as possible. They are drying, but it's going to take a little bit longer. So let's start in the middle, and we'll get one of these tufty boys. Just get this first one laid down. As I say, don't have to use super glue on these. I do just because once or twice on the first base I was doing, I thought I'd stuck the grass down and then it came up immediately afterwards and I was not best pleased. So let's get him down. And you see what I mean hopefully here. When I go in and put a clump next to that, I want to get it kind of as close to this part here, the base, that it's the glued base as I can. So let's try some flowers, get those in there. We should get as close in there as we can. Push it down. There we go. So now we've got to try and sneak something in here, and we've got to try and get it as close in as we can so that you can't see any of the plastic in here. So let's go with, oops. Let's go with one of these because it's a similar colour, but it's a bit of a different length. And we can transition out to some more different colours as we go. So let's get that right in there, like that. There we go. I think I might need some more green in there actually. Let's grab some moss. Again, just trying to get that as close to the foot and the other pieces of grass as we can. So we're going to try and get these under the feet a little bit, just to give the impression that the model is standing on the grass rather than the grass growing perfectly around each of their feet. Should have probably gone under his foot a little bit more, but that's fine. So we've got a small gap in there that we need to fill. Yeah, I think this should work. I think maybe we'll continue on with the flowers a little bit as well. Get some of these in there. And of course that gives us another green in there as well, which is always useful. Give us a bit of variation. So that looks okay to me. Just need to make sure we've got a little bit of variety around each part. So what I'm doing now is trying to stay around the foot and then build outwards. Now what's going to be interesting is when we get to the edge here, because I need something that's going to fit into that quite small gap, so we'll be on the lookout for a thinner piece to use there. But let's just keep going around the feet for now. I think the sun really needs to decide whether it's going to be on or off today. It's it's very distracting. It keeps getting really sunny and then really cloudy. It's almost like it's not worth having all of my lights set up so that I can film this. And before anyone asks, yes, this is always how I work. It's chaos or nothing. So once you've got your main colours in there, it's just kind of a case of by eye judging what you're going to need where. I think we've got quite, I mean, this is a bit too green over here, so I'm probably going to need something red, or some of the red grass, or some of the very pale stuff there. I'll probably go with the red just to take that out to the edge. Does look a little bit stripy on this side, I won't lie to you. That's my fault for using these long thin pieces around the toes, but there we are. There we go, that's the front half done anyway. So yeah, it's a little bit too stripy for my liking here. Most of the rest of it I'm pretty happy with. Yeah, so let's just get on and do the back half. One thing I probably should have said is the rim of the base has already been painted. I did that before I started gluing all the grass down. So yeah, that's what's that? 49 minutes to do. Ooh, just over half, maybe 2/3. So let's power on and get this finished. I need one more set of flowers over here. Somehow I've managed to get 1, 2, 3 of the purple, 3 of the yellow and 3 of the blue. So let's go with the blue. So I think it's gone pretty well. I really like this bit here. I think this darker brown might have been a mistake. It's a little bit too different. I maybe should have gone with another green in there, but I think the only place it really stands out is here, where I've got stripes, basically. I mean, if I was really that bothered, I could probably pull up this one and replace it with probably that or that. I think that would make a hell of a difference. I'm going to try it just to see if it's worth doing. There we go. So what do we need in there? We really need something green to try and make it look a bit more cohesive. Okay. And this is also why I said at the beginning you don't want to be trying to insert parts into this, because that's going to be quite difficult to get in there without just flattening all the stuff around it. Okay, so we need something approximately U-sized. That's better. Yeah, happier with that. So yeah, it's taken, what, an hour and 10 minutes to do, which isn't horrendous. I think for the most part it's been successful. I mean, I did say to begin with that I wanted to cover most of the base with those big boys, and I've used probably about 1/3 as many as I should have. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty pleased with it. Again, I think that brown piece there might be throwing me off as well. Yeah, I'm going to try and get rid of that piece as well. Small thing, but it just helps this bit look less stripy and slightly more natural. So yeah, there we go. It's a fully grassy flocked base. As I say, just over an hour it's taken me, and I'm pretty pleased with that. I think that's as an evolution from this one here. Yeah, and if anyone's curious about the very colourful chappie who's standing on the base, well, the top half of him is equally colourful, and he looks a bit like that. So yeah, we'll see how the audio turns out on this, and we'll see whether this is a viable way of sharing little hobby vloggy bloggy videos. And once I've got this edited and up, we'll make a decision, and maybe we'll have a look at some painting next time. But anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers guys.